I beat you.
You beat me, mate.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been working in this room today, up in London, and my colleague Will has been working in the room right next door. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity just to interview Will for a couple of minutes. Will is one of our great people, one of our brilliant people that I talk about, people being brilliant, and Will is definitely in that category. And in the academy, iManageacademy.com, we have a bunch of interviews with different people, business leaders, people that have attained in their lives, done different things, and we use that really as a way of learning, of sharing other people's experience, what they've done, how they've got on in life, what some of the pitfalls have been, and their suggestions and recommendations. So like a mini interview room session, a mini session similar to what we do in the academy, I thought it'd be great to just ask 3 questions of Will and interview him. So here we go. I'm going to grab him and we're going to do that. Cool. Okay, so this is Will. Will is just a cool guy.
Well, thank you.
Cool guy. I love working with Will. He's one of those trainers, I don't want to belittle you by the title trainer,
Facilitator.
Consultant, facilitator,
Coach.
that I love working with because I learn from Will. I've been at this a lot of years, but when I'm working with you, I gain competence. So I like that.
Very much.
I like that, yeah. And always goes down well in clients. I think, to be fair, we're quite similar.
We are.
There's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences, I guess, but a lot of similarities, and that works well in clients.
Yeah.
Because if they get me, they get you. If they get you, they get me. So that's
We
great.
make a good team.
We make a good
For
team.
a week, indeed, at a time.
Yeah, sometimes for a week at a time. Yeah. So 3 questions I've got for Will. These answers are relatively short. We're not like recording a
It's not an
War
episode.
and Peace or something. It's not an episode. No, kind of. It's a few minutes.
All right.
What we're after here. But I thought one of the things I find interesting about you, Will, is that you've had a pretty varied background. You've
Yes.
had quite a rich tapestry of experience which you call upon.
Yes.
And the other thing that I really like is that I would count you as a true entrepreneur. And you don't often come across entrepreneurs, in a sense. I think
Okay.
you come across people who have a domain expertise, but you've proved your interest in business in a number of different environments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like that. I'm still going. I never feel like I've finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's part of the entrepreneurial
Yeah,
thing.
maybe
isn't
it is.
Because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always looking
Yeah.
for what next, what more, what different.
Yeah. So I think, talk to us a little bit. Just give us that rich tapestry. Yeah. What have you been up to? What your career has varied. Just where do you draw your experience from? What's the journey been?
So for me, the starting point was in catering. So
Yeah.
I left school and went to catering college. Took a year off, did some crazy stuff, enjoyed that enormously. Did catering college,
Yeah.
and learned how to both cook and manage. And for me, that was a critical part because I love being with people. I love the creativity of cooking.
Yeah.
But I also was ambitious at the time. And so the management side worked really well. And I've worked in various restaurants, hotels, and ended up running restaurants and enjoyed it enormously and progressed very quickly into my 20s, having worked as a private chef, worked as a chef in really great restaurants,
Yeah.
and worked as a sommelier and then as a manager. And it was great, really good experience, long hours, but very productive for me. And then in my early 20s decided that obviously I needed to do something slightly different because I was looking to expand and do different things. So I went to drama school. I managed to get into drama school to train as an actor.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that for me was a movement from everything going out to
Yes.
everything coming in and focusing on me. And to be fair, I wasn't totally sure why I went. In fact, I'm still not totally sure why I went. But I went because it interested me in terms of the creative side. What would I do? How would I do it? How would I feel? I think there was also a lot about learning about my own emotional self that I hadn't sorted out, and it was probably easier than going to a therapist
Yeah.
for 3 years, and that is sort of drama school.
Cool. Do you know, I'm not even sure I've switched the camera on. Hold on. Can I just check? Yeah, we're rolling.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So, acting school...
Drama school. Drama school was fascinating because I didn't come from a massively creative background in terms of my family and people in my family, but I was a musician of sorts, a percussionist for many years. But I really loved the idea of learning a craft, learning the skill, and it was very fulfilling because I got stretched to do things I'd never done, and emotionally it's quite challenging. There's a lot of skills to be learned, and had a really good, interesting up and down 3 years there, and then took that, as a professional actor. I then worked mainly on the stage for 6 or 7 years and enjoyed that and travelled around the world and had a great time. But my business need, my entrepreneurial head, became very frustrated with the fact that I didn't feel like I had enough control over it. I couldn't determine my own destiny because and it's just part of the way the business is. Until you're at a stage where you can command roles, fees, etc., you're at the behest of everybody else in the decision-making process. And I wanted to be more of a decision-maker. And also there's a point where my learning seemed to drop off a little bit as I ended up doing similar-ish roles. And that's when I took both my business, creative, commercial side into what became quite quickly facilitation. So I transferred as an actor into doing acting in business. Back when maybe there was more assessment work than development work. So it's easier to assess people by having a fixed point of reference, which is an actor with certain behaviours, and then measuring other people's response in the industry. And I found that I was not only pretty good at it, but I was interested to learn as to how it came about, course design came about. So I very quickly moved into design and facilitation, which then led into delivering many programs with different clients in different places and trying to make them more interesting, more creative. And that then led into learning to coach. So I became an executive coach because that was part of the complementary skill set, if you like. And that's been 17 years worth of my
it goes
career.
Quick, doesn't it?
It does go very, very quick.
But
I'm very pleased to say that I still get what I consider to be a lot of creative enjoyment out of the work that I do. Most of it is, for me, it's not training. It is helping other people to develop their skills. So my wife calls me a professional agitator. Or is that a pain in the arse? I'm not sure. But in a positive way, because I just get in there and I ask a lot of questions and make a lot of observations. And what I really love is using some of my acting knowledge and skills in a corporate setting, whereby I can help other people understand, actually, this is a choice I can make. So this changing my behaviour isn't some myth or isn't some magic wand. It's actually a series of explicit choices I'm making. And if I can help you understand what that menu of choices is for you and how to navigate through them, all of a sudden you can change your behaviour in next to no time. And you own it.
Brilliant. So I think what we were saying is the grit in the oyster. Sorry,
thank you.
Yes.
And maybe one day the pearl
will emerge. But you're the agitator. You're the thing that.
I like that.
Oh, cool. So now you hinted that you did some studies during that point. So my second question for you was really about adult education. I know you've kind of done quite a lot in relative recent years, where you have upped your academic input and learnt stuff. Just talk to me a bit about that in terms of, how beneficial was it for you? Has that been influential in who you are, what you're doing right now? That sort of adult education piece.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I did a degree as an actor, and then 7 years ago I went back to business school to do a master's in coaching and behavioural change, which totally fitted the bill for what I was currently doing and what I wanted to do more of, which is help behaviour change within an organisation, but being able to consider it organisation-wide as well as with a specific person. So for me, not coming from a particularly academic background, back in the day when I was at catering college, it was quite a stretch, but actually in terms of what I now do, it's been a game changer for me. So I used to do good work that I enjoyed, that was interesting and diverse. Now I have a broader set of clients I work with. I could do more interesting work. I have more control over my work, and work has increased as well, which has been fantastic. So I feel like it made a seismic shift in terms of where I position myself in the industry and how people regard me. So I did that, and I also did a diploma in advanced executive coaching as well. So that just helps cement up my executive coaching credentials.
Yeah, bro.
So so they worked really well.
Significantly influential in who you are, what you do.
Significantly,
Yeah.
and to the point where I should probably start getting some referral fees from the college, because I've referred to Henley Business School. I mean, I've referred a number of people there because for me it was such an important part of my development. For other people who I know in business who wanted to do that, I've nudged them in that direction, and currently know 3 people who are on their master's program, and
cool.
it's a really impactful program.
Yeah, cool. So my third question for you was just along the lines of, if you were giving advice to some younger individual, less experienced individual about management, if there was one kind of favourite piece of advice that you give people as they're heading off into management, what would that be?
Do you mean newly into management, or
Either. What piece of advice would be useful to people who, I think don't have that much experience, are relatively new in the whole game.
So the overarching piece would be think about how you do what you do, because in management often you're quite busy, practical, and involved in getting stuff done. Excuse me. And it can be very easy to be totally focused on, this is what I need to do, this is my mandate, or this is the outcomes we're looking for, this is what we need to provide as a team, and I might be doing a bit of leading as well, so what do I need to do as a leader? But the how is the critical bit. So for me, that's the bit I'm focused on, of course, which is how do you do what you do, how do you behave, how do you sound, how do you think, how do you emote? If you are in charge of that, if you're making some smart decisions around that, then that can build relationships with the people that you're managing, and that's the bit that gets them on board. Suddenly they feel like they're engaged with you, and they feel more motivated because they believe you, they trust you, they like you, they respect you, and tipping the balance to asking more, saying less. I think that's something that in most businesses I experience, people are less inclined to ask to find out through curiosity because it matters to them, and more inclined to inform or instruct or tell because they feel that by doing that then change
managing
will come. I'm doing management.
Yeah.
So those would be the things, but and they're very broad, and how you do what you do for different people it's going to be very different in terms of that what am I focusing on? Is it how I behave? Is it how I think? My thinking style is the combination of all these different things together. But that would be the thing that really defines a person as a manager. That's how they, in terms of progression in organisations, that's what I see people looking for talent. And they want to look at somebody and say, firstly, have you peaked? And if you have, you're probably in the right place. If you haven't peaked, what more could you be doing? And how you're currently behaving will demonstrate the attitude, your appetite for progression. And so I think that for me is critical.
Thank you very much for that. So helpful. Great insight. And you might, if you're into iManage, you work with us, you know us, you may come across Will in future days, and it would only be a good thing.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, matey.
Cheers.
Cool. So, truth is, Will is a great guy, really good guy, and I just wanted to confirm, really, or reiterate my own view of that adult education thing, because it's my experience as well that it's life-changing. The end of the 90s, in fact, I graduated 2000 with an MBA from Brighton, and as an adult learner. But that was so instrumental in making me who I am, bringing me to this point where I am today, kind of really informing my confidence and my knowledge and my willingness to break out from corporate life and get into, kind of small business. And, I couldn't encourage people more to take that step in adult life, to really to go to adult education, to learn, to develop themselves, to progress. Just an awesome experience for me, just like it was for Will.
Subscribe, I love you, subscribe, it's only